Third one, Tripwire. Now, this is the first. This is the first of his master criminals, like Ukobe, guy scarred with a bastard, like, you know. And the thing what I like about Tripwire, it starts off brilliantly. You get this 2-page dissection, you know, in italics at the beginning, that kind of sets up the story, you know. And you read these 2 pages, and the first Tripwire was 11,000 miles away, and the second Tripwire was 6,000 miles closer, but still 5,000 miles away. You know, and you're thinking, bastard, what are they then, these Tripwires, you know? And it sets up the story really good. Basic plot, Reacher's digging swimming pools in Florida, I think. Some guy comes for seek him out because somebody wants to meet Reacher. And this master criminal guy, Ukobe, he's into like corrupt real estate deals and financial stuff, you know, he's a complete scumbag, like. As the story goes along, eventually they both get enmeshed in the plot, like, you know, and it's good when Reacher meets him at the end, you know. I'd say ratings wise, I'd say this were a cracker, you know. This is the first of his crackers to me, and it's yeah, it's one of them. If you're in a book shop, you're not read any Jack Reachers, yeah, and you just pick up and read first 2 pages of Tripwire, you know. And if that don't hook you, nothing will, like, you know. The first Tripwire, bastard, you know, and it's good when you find out what the Tripwires are. So yeah, that's a cracker, Tripwire. Now, I've run out of fags, so I'll have to do another. Fucking hell, no papers. Bastard. Hold on a minute. Got 'em. Right, the next one. The Visitor. Now, this was the first one I read. My dad had read it, and he reads a lot of crime fiction, and he recommended it to me. He says, you've got to read this. It's well worth a read, you know, so, right. So, I read it, and again, like Tripwire, it's got this, this couple of pages at the beginning in italics, which again, sets the story up brilliantly. Knowledge is power. The more knowledge, the more power. Imagine if you knew all the lottery numbers, like, you know. And again, terrific beginning. It's one of the, you know, same thing as Tripwire. If you're in a book shop, never read any Reacher ones, first 2 pages at Visitor. If that doesn't hook you, nothing will. The basic plot is there's this serial killer going round killing women who used to be in military, and he's drowning them in green paint in the bathtubs, like, you know. And of course Reacher becomes a suspect, and then so he has to work with the FBI to kind of prove his innocence and find out who the serial killer is, kind of thing, you know. I give it a cracker. I think it's another good one, this one. Again, the first 20 pages, it's a pretty good book to read as the first of the Reachers, actually, because the first 20 pages is what Reacher's all about, you know. Brilliant. And that to do with that guy Petrosian, you know, and the 2 guys, you know, in the restaurant, and that's excellent, that, yeah. And there's not that much action in it, but he keeps it taut, you know, keeps things happening, keeps things shuffling along, and it's overall, yeah, pretty good. Definitely a cracker, and it's a good whodunit as well. Didn't get it at all. I was like, oh, fucking hell, didn't get that. You know. So it's, yeah, The Visitor, definitely highly recommended, cracker. So we're on a pretty good thingy up to now. We've had good, and then I've got 3 crackers. Right. Next one. Echo Burning. Plot. Reacher gets a lift off this woman. It's set in Texas. Gets a lift off this woman, but she's crapping her pants a bit because her husband's shortly going to get out of jail, and he's going to beat her up, kind of thing. Reacher gets involved, of course, and there's also this assassination squad as well out there somewhere, you know. Cracker. Might be my favourite one, this Echo Burning. It's almost like you can feel the heat, you know, because I think it's in Texas, innit, or wherever it is, it's fucking hot, you know. So sun's beating down, you know, everything's this like small town and all this, everything's baking hot, so it's a good location actually. Couple of things I remember about it. When you read through the Reachers, you realise that there's not a lot of kind of overt humour in them. You know, Reacher doesn't come out with that many one-liners or stuff like this, you know. But there's a lot of situations in the books that are funny, even though they might not be, you know. Well, it's funny when you're reading them anyway, but it's not to people who's on receiving end. There's one scene where this woman lawyer's after 20 grand she wants off this guy they won in court and he won't pay. So Richard says, I'll visit him, like, you know. So he visits this old bloke. Yeah, you owes 20 grand, mate. No, I don't. Piss off, like, you know. So Rachel, like, gets this glass decanter thing, you know. Oh, that's rare, innit? Chucks it off ledge. Oops, says Rachel. And then he grabs the guy's bell. He's got this little bell. Grabs the bell. Squashes it up in his hands. Puts it in the guy's pocket on his shirt. I could do that to your head. Okay, I'll pay. Like, you know. And there's that scene as well. That's funny as well with pool cue. When Reacher uses it, fucking piss funny. And the ending as well. Kind of mini spoiler-ish, but I'm not giving megally away, you know. There's this scene towards the end where he goes out in desert with this woman and they're followed by the assassination squad, and you can see lights of them coming for him, you know, in the middle of the desert. And just before they get in up to where Reacher's waiting for him, massive thunderstorm, and you can hardly see. And it's all about where would Reacher move against assassins that he can hardly see, and where would they move against him, kind of thing, you know. And I'm there like, you know, rushing through pages. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Bastard, you know. It's fucking excellent, that scene. And the final 10 pages as well. That's good, yeah. Good ending as well. So that could be my favourite Reacher one, Echo Burning, you know. There's another book that's vying for contention of my favourite Reacher, but I'll come to that in a bit. Right. Cracker, Echo Burning. Next one. Without Fail.